Hi, I'm Lina Bowden, and I am a student in the Masters of Arts Development Policy and Practice here at UNH. I spent a number of years, almost 30 years, in the financial services industry. 2 years ago, I decided to sort of leave that investments and financial industry and move into development. So I had already been doing some work as a volunteer in the area of development, mostly in northern Peru, working with a couple of small grassroots organizations. I thought that there would be a real place for me to use my financial expertise and bring it to doing good. And in particular, I had been reading a lot about international development, and in particular, Mohamed Yunus's books and the work that they had been doing in microfinance. And so I thought that sounded like a really amazing opportunity for me to use my skills, but also I was really intrigued with the model, the business model of being able to really scale development through microfinance. Well, the relationships that I had with the Sisters of St. Joseph's, well, actually there's two groups, two religious communities, Sisters of St. Joseph's and the Ursuline Sisters, that I have connections to. And I think initially those connections were formed through my church. When I had decided to leave my work, which actually was almost a 3-year transition, so I had made the decision that I would be exiting the business. And when I went looking for jobs, a lot of times the requirement was a master's degree. So, and I also felt that having spent 30 years in the financial services industry didn't exactly make me fully qualified. I had a lot of really good skills that I had learned throughout that 30 years, but I didn't have a whole lot of exposure to work in developing countries beyond my volunteering in Peru. So I was really interested in sort of acquiring some additional skills that would help me be a really effective practitioner working in the development field. I decided to do my project with a community group that I was already working with through my volunteer work in Canada. And the community center was called Santa Angela, and it was in the district of Jose Leonardo Ortiz, which is on the outskirts of Chiclayo in Peru. So it's in the northern coast of Peru. This center has been doing work in human development in the community, working with the poorest of that district. When I knew I needed to do a project for this master's degree, the first people that I thought of to do the project with were these women in this center in Peru. And they said, we'd love to do a project where we start a restaurant and skills development center where we could primarily work with youth, but also women, and give those people an opportunity to develop both personal skills, which would be things like communication, teamwork, leadership, organization skills, as well as some technical skills in the food service industry. And then, through the work that I was doing with UNH, we developed, basically looked at an in-depth study of the problem analysis. So being really clear about what you want to achieve, so what are your expected outcomes, is important, and I learned that through the program. I would highly recommend the Masters of Arts Development Policy and Practice program to other practitioners, particularly I think those who are going to be responsible for implementing projects or even managing a number of programs and projects. The UNH Masters program is a means of seeing the big picture. So, to truly go through the project implementation, like from design through to implementation through evaluation, it gives you that big picture view of what it means to really implement a project and how to make sure you're having impact.